What you're about to watch is something that will wake up you sheeple. Stay tuned, you wish you would have listened in the first place. Never judge those who speak about the truth. Ignorance will cost you your life. Do not be brainwashed.
If this was predicted 27 years ago, somebody knew something. Okay, here's the list. This is an abbreviated list. I could have made it much longer. You know I can. I didn't. Okay, you ready for the list? Fast mutating viral disease pandemics. Genetically developed vaccines. DNA database tracking. DNA chips. Get this one. 1997. Gene-based pharmaceuticals. Transmitting genetic instructions for a disease process. How about this one? You ready for it? Wait for it. Artificial intelligence to determine gene patterns. 27 years ago, who had heard about AI? Apparently they had. How about this one? Robots for doing genome sequencing. And then, this one blew me away. Using recombinant DNA for making spike proteins. 1997? It gets even worse. Smart homes. They have a whole chapter on smart homes / smart cities. This one will absolutely floor you. It did me. In 1997, and this is, you can do the word search and research yourself. They predicted, not 2025, but by 2020, that people would be working from home virtually. Oh, come on. Nuclear devices causing widespread contamination. Nanotech devices. This stuff was never even heard of. Digital currency. And last but certainly not least, vaccination programs. I'm sorry, I got to chuckle, because if I don't, I'll cry. Vaccination programs run by organizations like the World Health Organization for a global killer that has yet to emerge. First printing, February 1997.
Since our last meeting, we've made tremendous progress. And I'd like to say that most of the credit goes to our extremely efficient International Research and Development Committee. So I would like to thank each and every one of you for your hard work and dedication to our cause. In reviewing this year's progress, let me say that we have been highly effective in conditioning the people's minds to accept our solution to the world's problems. The energy crisis here in the United States was exceptionally successful worldwide, and we expect similar success with our upcoming food shortage. Our labor leaders have made great progress by causing confusion and work stoppages in all areas of the world. Financially, the dollar is being devalued even faster than we could have hoped. Politically, the public has lost total confidence in any form of government. The threat of universal war is a daily possibility. As you know, we ourselves do not need to hold any visible office of leadership. As a matter of fact, it's better that we do not. If we control the finances, news media, food, transportation, energy, we control everything. It is important that you, as world leaders, keep our program before your countrymen. With our World Bank and computer program operational, we now have the capacity to control the financial affairs of every human being on Earth by giving each person his own computer number. Anytime his number is used, we would know his financial situation at once. He could not buy or sell anything without his computer number. It will simplify their lifestyles tremendously. The end result will be a one-world monetary and government system that we alone will control. Yes.
What about the people who forget their number, or their cards are lost or stolen?
We've made provisions for that. By using this laser imprinter, we can painlessly and permanently affix the person's number to the back of his hand or his forehead if he so desires. The numbers would be easily read by this new ultraviolet scanning equipment. For the purposes of demonstration, I've had such a number imprinted on myself. Once this number is imprinted, it cannot be lost nor can it be changed. Now, are there any questions?
What about the individuals who refuse to have this number implantation?
We expect some minor resistance, especially from highly motivated religious groups. But eventually, hunger will cause even the most zealous to conform to our program.
Mr. Chairman, I am concerned about the situation in the Middle East.
We've given Russia and Israel a great deal of consideration. Russia is, as you probably already know, considering an invasion of Israel in order to obtain a Mediterranean seaport. Well, our policy is to support such a move and supply Israel with the necessary nuclear weapons to fend off such an attack. The mental conditioning of the Israelis is he has nothing to lose, and subsequently will attack the Russians before they can get their planes off the ground. Gentlemen, I believe that within a year, 2 at the most, our one world government will be a reality. If we continue on our present course, it is my opinion that we could present the devil himself as a world leader, and the people would accept.
Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic. We're not ready for the next epidemic. You can have a virus where people feel well enough while they're infectious that they get on a plane or they go to a market. The source of the virus could be a natural epidemic like Ebola, or it could be bioterrorism. And so there are things that would literally make things 1,000 times worse. In fact, let's look at a model of a virus spread through the air like the Spanish flu back in 1918. So here's what would happen. It would spread throughout the world very, very quickly. And you can see there's over 30 million people die from that epidemic. So this is a serious problem. We should be concerned. But in fact, we can build a really good response system. We have the benefits of all the science and technology that we talk about here. We've got cell phones to get information from the public and get information out to them. We have satellite maps where we can see where people are and where they're moving. We have advances in biology that should dramatically change the turnaround time to look at a pathogen and be able to make drugs and vaccines that fit for that pathogen. So we can have tools, but those tools need to be put into an overall global health system, and we need preparedness. The best lessons, I think, on how to get prepared are, again, what we do for war. For soldiers, we have full-time waiting to go. We have reserves that can scale us up to large numbers. NATO has a mobile unit that can deploy very rapidly. NATO does a lot of war games to check, are people well trained? Do they understand about fuel and logistics and the same radio frequencies? So they are absolutely ready to go. So those are the kinds of things we need to deal with an epidemic. What are the key pieces? First is we need strong health systems in poor countries. That's where mothers can give birth safely, kids can get all their vaccines, but also where we'll see the outbreak very early on. We need a medical reserve corps. Lots of people who've got the training and background who are ready to go with the expertise. And then we need to pair those medical people with the military, taking advantage of the military's ability to move fast, do logistics, and secure areas. We need to do simulations, germ games, not war games, so that we see where the holes are. The last time a germ game was done in the United States was back in 2001, and it didn't go so well. So far, the score is germs 1, people 0. Finally, we need lots of advanced R&D in areas of vaccines and diagnostics. There are some big breakthroughs, like adeno-associated virus, that could work very, very quickly. Now, I don't have an exact budget for what this would cost, but I'm quite sure it's very modest compared to the potential harm. The World Bank estimates that if we have a worldwide flu epidemic, global wealth will go down by over $3 trillion, and we'd have millions and millions of deaths. These investments offer significant benefits beyond just being ready for the epidemic. The primary health care, the R&D, those things would reduce global health equity and make the world more just as well as more safe. So I think this should absolutely be a priority. There's no need to panic. We don't have to hoard cans of spaghetti or go down into the basement, but we need to get going because time is not on our side. In fact, if there's one positive thing that can come out of the Ebola epidemic, it's that it can serve as an early warning, a wake-up call to get ready. If we start now, we can be ready for the next epidemic. Thank you. I believe we should devote more to helping the poorest countries. But any realistic level will force us to make tough choices about which areas get the world's attention. So climate change is a major threat to human welfare, but so are food insecurity, malnutrition, and infectious disease. And each of these is very connected to the other. For example, extreme weather is making it harder to grow crops in many parts of the world, which puts more children at risk of malnutrition, harder to grow crops in many parts of the world, which puts more children at risk of crops in many parts of the world, which puts more children at risk of malnutrition and makes them more vulnerable to disease. Its arms, we just shoot them right into the vein. Is there something to worry about with medicine? That is, might some of them have side effects? Do we need safety testing? I mean, and we're taking things that are, genetically modified organisms and we're injecting them in little kids' arms. We just shoot them right into the vein.
News. There's boiled pig skin again. Chicken embryo protein, blood from the hearts of cow fetuses, DNA fragments from human fetuses, oil extracted from the liver of sharks, and proteins from worm ovaries, and of course DNA fragments from monkey kidneys. There's a famous scene in Macbeth with the three witches are stirring the brew. Eye of newt, toe of frog, lizard's leg, tongue of dog. Can't you just picture Gates and Offit and Hotez stirring that brew? But let's get back to the modern vaccine ingredients. Formaldehyde, God knows you want to inject that into a baby. Polysorbate 80, that's linked to infertility. Potassium chloride, this is my favorite, potassium chloride, because that is the final ingredient that is given by executioners when they do lethal injections. Swear to God. Now, obviously, the vaccinators use much smaller doses than the executioners, but it does make the point that parents have no effing idea what is in these products. And another one is sodium borate. That's used in pesticides. It's not allowed in food, but apparently it's okay for babies. Triton X100, that's used in spermicides. And until very recently, ethyl mercury. Thank you, Bobby Kennedy Jr. And wasn't it really fun and crazy that the media and other people, Bobby took the step of, and the ACIP committee took the step of removing mercury from childhood vaccines, they were whining like, don't take away our mercury from our babies. They were so upset about the idea just because Bobby did it. It wouldn't matter, of course, what he does. It's got to be bad news.
I think an epidemic, either naturally caused or intentionally caused, is just the most likely thing to cause, say, 10 million excess deaths. Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
We are setting robust and rigorous standards that will aggressively reduce the pollution that is harming people and our planet.
To cover a range of topics of mutual interest, everything from COVID-19 and our efforts to address the global pandemic. The
federal government continues to take aggressive action and proactive steps to address the COVID-19 threat as we attack the health and safety or protect the health and safety of the American people. It remains our top priority.
this matters going forward. We're in a live exercise here. We're in a live exercise.
The only way out of this pandemic is the successful rollout of the vaccine. You know, the vaccine is our enemy. Oh, sorry, I'll start again. There we go. You know, the vaccine is our enemy.
Can I say to the Australian community that you should have faith in the vaccines, that you should remember that the consequences of the vaccines are worse than any of the potential side effects.
It's important to get vaccinated, why these vaccines are safe, why they can still kill you, even if you are under the age of 27. We need to be clear and direct about our messaging.
But my other message is even one dose of vaccine is worthwhile in improving your likelihood of hospitalisation.
There is more vaccine available, whether it's Moderna, Pfizer or AstraZeneca, choose your poison.
But there are immense logistical challenges. The virus has got to be stored at minus 70 degrees. The virus has got to be stored at minus 70 degrees. Each person needs 2 injections.
Don't forget, these vaccines are unlikely to completely sterilize a population.
A so-called sterilising vaccine because it gives you that full protection.
The Premier said 12 days to do it because after that we will be bringing in virus through the borders in vaccinated people because we know that once you're vaccinated you still can get infected and transmit it, but you're very unlikely to get unwell.
An Australian biotech company has developed a new treatment it hopes will prevent people dying from COVID vaccine.
So they are our older people, 70 years of age and older. We know they are just so vulnerable to getting ill and dying from this vaccine, We
know that the people who are dying from this disease,
people dying after their COVID vaccination is exceeding the number of deaths from the virus itself. Taiwan's health authorities say that as of Monday, deaths after vaccination reached 865, while deaths from the virus are at 845. Vaccines currently offered in Taiwan include AstraZeneca, Moderna, Pfizer-BioNTech, and Taiwan's own vaccine, Medigen.
Choose your poison.
we know that the people who are dying from this disease
is worrying health officials who call mass vaccinations the only path to a return to normalcy. Almost 4 months into the vaccination effort, providers are beginning to run out of people who want to be immunized. Almost 4 months into the vaccination effort, providers are beginning to run out of people who want to be immunized.
Unless you're triple vaxxed, you're not considered fully vaxxed.
Wow.
And that approach, as much as it sucks, it is the reality that with the face of these new variants, this is why the sooner we end it, the sooner we can stop dealing with these software upgrade patches that we have to do with our vaccines.
Have your third dose, that booster dose, that is going to significantly improve your protection against this variant. So yesterday we heard a lot of our health ministers out saying, go out and get your variant, go out and get your variant, go out and get your variant.
Choose your poison.
So if it's going to be used, it's better to focus on those groups who have risk of severe disease and death, rather than, as we see, some countries are using to give boosters to kill children, which is not right.
The vaccine, I came up with the vaccine. They said it would take 3 to 5 years, gonna save the world. I recommend you take it, but I also believe in your freedoms 100%. But just so you understand, but it was a great achievement.
It's a global pandemic.
I appreciate greatly the work done by all the premiers and chief ministers in seeing those national vaccination rates get to where they are. We've got one more state to get through that gate. As it's a bit like getting the sheep through the gate.
Cows, remember they were going to get rid of all the cows? They stopped that. People didn't like that. Remember? You know why they were going to get rid of all the cows. People will be next. People will be next.
People who are sort of on the edge, not necessarily will I, won't I, they need to go and get their first dose. That's my message today. We're so close to having achieved something quite remarkable. Now we've just got to finish this thing off.
We have a plan. We have the tools. We're using them. We're making progress. We just have to finish the job. Finish the job. So for God's sake, for your own sake, for the sake of your families, get vaccinated.
This is a world pandemic. It's a 1 in 100 year event. So you can expect that we will have transmission from time to time, and that's just the way it is. We've got to accept that this is the new world order. We've got to accept that this is the new world order. We've got to accept that this is the new world order.
It is both a safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID.
It also has polysorbate 80, which is a surfactant, which is something they give to chemo patients that are going to receive drugs that go to their brain. So polysorbate 80 helps to open the blood-brain barrier, which is like very specific. Only certain molecules can go through there. The polysorbate 80 is in the vitamin K shot. They give that to the baby. It opens the blood-brain barrier so that these bigger molecules can pass through. Then within 12 hours, they give 10 times the amount of a heavy metal aluminum. Where does it go? Straight to the blood-brain barrier. It goes to their brain. A heavy metal to their brain. Why do we have such a big problem with autism?
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
All that talk you heard about 5G interfacing with the shots, it's true. DARPA research and the operational programs to infect us with remote controllable prion clusters in the brain before they even rolled out COVID. I just got chills. This is so evil. I mean, this is how you take over. You colonize people. You implant everybody with these, whether you've had the shot or not. It's everywhere. You get these proteins growing in you. They hit you with the frequency, and it looks like you died of a stroke. Man, this is bad. All over your brain, hit you with it. Bzzz, crystals grow in the next few days, cut through arteries, cut through veins, cut through capillaries, stroke out. Or he says we can just hit them with a light dose and just fog everybody out and make them sick where they can't think straight.
Yeah. So since COVID started and now, would you say you're seeing more people coming in hospital ill than during COVID?
100%.
Yeah. And would you say there's more people dying now than during COVID?
100%. And if people go on the government website, you can see that we're more than 10% up every single week of more deaths than there ever has been before the COVID jab came out. And working in the ambulance service, winter months and that, you would get full. Your longer wait would be about 4 hours. Now you're waiting 24, 48 hours. The hospital's absolutely rammed. We are a sick society today, and they've made people be like that by this vaccine that they've given. That's in clinical trials. The vaccine is a DNA change, an mRNA.
New technology.
Yeah.
People don't understand what they've had injected into them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people regret it, because a lot of my friends regret having it, and they wouldn't have any more.
I mean to brag, I don't care, but I want you to know, double vaxxed, booster, flu shot, and I'm going to be honest, I have the shingle shot too. And I still get my period. What? Yes! Traveled, went to Mexico twice, did shows, meet and greets, never got COVID. Clearly, Jesus loves me the most. Seriously. So nice. So nice.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis. Controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides, trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds, big lies, beef on the police so that there's big crime. To take away our freedom, to restore order they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system. Change the pronouns, if gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with billions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue the screen's just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? Machine. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleet, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout and use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides on the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you were a target, and now it's having two good legs and never taking a step forward. If you agree it's free speech, disagree it's hate speech. Erase it if it came from anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican, and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe, but you'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't be free, have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue the screen's just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? Machine. Nothing's what it seems. If they can't convince you, they confuse you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made everybody right and left. The hatred got so intense. If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation. The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police, now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you, they don't ask questions. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investors. The system isn't broke, it's working fine. Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. While their agenda and intelligence completely classified. They don't teach your rights in school, you never learn them at all, cause they're easy to so they force you into corners till you're breaking the law. We can't be free, have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all